evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the graduation exercises for the data processing job entry program here in Moncton. My name is Mike McLaughlin. I had the pleasure of being the student instructor for the last 2 months of the program, working with them in our classroom on Lester Street, as well as monitoring the students' progress on the job training with the various employers here in Moncton who participated in our job entry program. I'd like to welcome the graduates, their friends, parents, family. I'll introduce over on my left here, Mr. Alan Ralston from Hamilton Carter Limited, and our guest speaker, Carol McCluskey from the Canada Employment Center. I'd like to wish each of the students every success after the termination of this program. I'll have a few more words to say later this evening. I'd like to now call upon Mr. Alan Ralston from Hamilton Carter to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for coming out to this graduation. Just a few words, I won't be talking very long. Just a little bit about Hamilton Carter. It started out about 5 years ago with a fellow by the name of Jim Hamilton and his wife Elaine Carter. And in a 5-year period, it's grown into a 2-person operation into a 13-staff operation. Our role is to provide job entry training programs funded through Cathy'S employment. The focus of these programs is to take people who are not working or having difficulties finding a permanent job and giving them the classroom training plus on-the-job exposure. That's so crucial, is getting that experience. People say, how can I get a job without experience? Sometimes it's difficult. So we try to break that cycle and give them some work exposure combined with the classroom training. These letters that I have here will be passed out with the certificates with our CDC host. And basically they state that when this course ends today, that does not mean our relationship is finished with the student. For those that were unable to find a job, we will provide a resume service, some job counseling. We are in touch with employers in the New Brunswick market. We keep our ears and eyes open, and we pass those needs on to other students. So we consider a complete success if everybody in this program is working. In terms of other programs that we've done, data processing is one of them. We run courses in pharmacy training, warehousing, parts training, automotive training, so we offer a variety of employment courses. We try to keep track of what is in the labor market, what needs are there, and offer programs that are offer people employment. So on that note, I would like to leave these on this podium and have Carol come up and pass on some certificates. And after that point, we'll have some refreshments. Thanks very much.
Good evening, graduates, families, and friends of graduates. On behalf of the manager at Canada Employment Center, I'm quite proud to be invited tonight to present and speak to you. Working at the Canada Employment Center as a counselor, Everyone who comes in who hasn't completed high school says much the same thing. If I had it to do again, I would complete school. I would go to grade 12. So those of you who have gone back to school as you have before are making the effort to improve on your education. This will be an ongoing situation. Throughout your life, you will find that you will be going back to school, or taking classes, or studying something, whether it be a manual, a textbook, or just generally taking a short training course in places one. I've worked at the Canada Employment Center since 1972, and I'm still taking courses. So education is an ongoing part of your working life. Take something, stand and move around a bit. So for those of you who feel that you have the good foundation, yes you do, you have the good foundation. Data processing is part of the age of technology, which is where we are today. This is the basis. This is the beginning. It is changing constantly. I spent most of the day today growling at my computer. It was a bit cranky because everything I did to it needs that. So you're going to find that as you deal with computers, you will be learning all the time. Programs are changing. Machines themselves are changing. This course also taught you some life skills, some social skills of getting along with fellow workers, co-workers, other people. That is a very important part of your role in the labor force today. You not only have to know the job, you have to know how to get along with people. And I'm sure you've established some friendships here during this course. You've got to know people that you want to stay in touch with over the years. This is a very important part of anything. You will establish friendships, you will make contacts, and you will want to keep in touch. But most of all, you've now had some work experience. And that's where a lot of young people have difficulty. They will look at an application and it says, you must have experience. Now you have some experience. You'll be able to go out into the workforce and tell the people, yes, I do have some experience. Some of you, hopefully, will be able to get a job with the employer where you have work experience. If not, hopefully, you have your experience there and you will get a reference from these employers. That too is an important part of your working life. Now, as you've been told, Hamilton Carter is prepared to help you with resume writing, with job search. We at the Canada Employment Center will also be there and help you with that. We do this. That's part of our job. If you have a resume, you're not sure if it's really what it should be, you wish to come in and see a counselor, that's one of the things we help you with. I'd like to congratulate you all on completing the course. I understand there were 15 that started out in this course and 15 are successful. So that's quite a record because it's very rare to have a course where people start out and you don't have at least one or two dropouts. So really deserve to be commended. It must have been a good course. And everyone worked very hard in order to be successful. I wish you all great success in your working life, and as I said, keep in mind this is the beginning of learning of the educational process that will be ongoing. And this is something that will be valuable because we are in the age of technology. Computers are here to stay. Some people don't like that, and today was one of my days. However, they are here to stay, so you will be doing a lot of work with them. I'd like to now ask the graduates, and I will read names off alphabetically, to come up and get their certificates. Donna Damcrash. Karen Bourgeois. Neil Paul Schiffer. Annette Chapel. Cathy Cormier. Jackie Thomas. Bonnie Dempsey. Paul Hayward. Joanne Lapeer. Gail Lewis. One Cabbage. Clayton Parker. Tina Peltoy. Ann Ward. Jennifer Williams. Is there not hiding in the audience?
I would now like to call upon Pam Lord and Violet Dempsey to have a few words to say. Class. Class of 90. I have a few awards of my own that I'd like to present to the class. As you know, I wasn't with you throughout the duration of the entire course. You had Clarence Freeze was with your class for a period, as well as the other lady I didn't meet the name of your first instructor. You had Robert was in for 2 weeks, the lady before her. It was George. She taught you the life skill course from the course. I'm sure Robert Carville would have been here if he were able. I don't know if you're aware that he's taken a teaching position in a school in Mississauga, Ontario, and he's moved there in the last few weeks. We had classes there in the fall. I'm sure Robert would wish you all the best, as well as your other instructors. As I said, I had a couple of awards here that I kind of did a little secret polling among the class to spoke to various confidences of various people to find out who might be most fitting of the award. And some of the awards, was there a long enough period to come to conclusions myself. First, I just asked that these are certificates which read Hamilton Carter Limited Data Processing Job Entry Program 1990, Moncton, New Brunswick. This first certificate is presented to the person who demonstrated the best class spirit in always keeping a positive, cheerful attitude and looking at the brighter side of things. We did have, there occasionally were problems that as with any class environment or work environment that come up. I'd like to present this certificate to Gail Lewis.
There you go.
The second certificate I have here, fundraising projects for the class. Much of tonight's entertainment and decorations were paid for by 50-50 draws and car washes that were held throughout the year to raise funds for the graduation. And I'd like to present this certificate to Annette Chapel. Presented to the person who, in my opinion, demonstrated the most leadership in this class. When problems did arise, it was often necessary for one among you to approach myself or Robert Didigiato, our Vice President at head office, to discuss your concerns. And without further ado, I'll present this certificate to Donna Basterat. Here, oftentimes when I was searching for job placements for you over the last month of the program, I seem to spend more time on the telephone talking to employers than I working with the students in the class. At times there are various projects I would assign, and there always seemed to be one person in the class who was the most instrumental in assisting the other students in using the various computer programs and getting the assignments done. He would get his work done out quickly, and instead of taking the time off, he would spend time helping other people in the class. I'd like to send this certificate to LP Chignon. The last certificate I have here is for the person who demonstrated the best attendance in class. This person, he relied upon me to be in class early in the morning. In fact, for much of the course, he was responsible for unlocking the door. The door that not many students were ever left locked in of the class early in the morning. In fact, some afternoons it's difficult to get this person to leave. I wondered if he stayed there all night, maybe. To the best of my knowledge, he may have missed one afternoon due to a dental appointment throughout the duration of the course. During his work exposure, he had an excellent attendance record with his employer. They were very pleased that he was always Johnny on the spot, never a minute late, and that's certainly something that any employer looks for in an employee these days. So I'd like to present this certificate to Mr. Paul Hayward. Just a few closing remarks this evening. I'd like to thank a few people, Tina Feltola and Joanne Legier, who did most of the keyboarding and design for the schedules for the graduation here this evening. I'd also like to list for the benefit of people who aren't students here this evening, the employers who participated in the in our job entry program. Our program can't be successful without employers who are willing to sponsor students for the 2-month period, training period at the conclusion of the classwork. In fact, the classwork really has very little meaning if you don't have an opportunity to apply it in the workforce. In no particular order, the employers in Moncton area and Shediac as well who participated in the program were Wawanesa Insurance, Sharon Geeks was the supervisor for that employer. McLean, Martin, Barristers and Solicitors, Ken Martin, Canada Life Insurance, Bernie Arsenault, Moncton City Hall, Dan Morehouse, Davenport Atlantic, Mr. Ken Steves, Cathy'S Farms, Eugenie Harper, Wood Motors, Gary Albright, Jones Insurance, Steve Jones. Department of Oceans and Fisheries sponsored two students. They were supervised by Lorraine Dupre and Clarence Clayton. Clarence's last name? Paul Gadet. Sorry, I had the wrong name down. Paul Gadet. Moncton City Hospital, Joan Gallagher and Phyllis Hope. Co-op Atlantic, Helen Lewis, Peggy Byers, and also the Bank of Montreal and Shediac, Luella LeBlanc. With the participation of these employers, our program couldn't have succeeded. I would say in my experience that I've been involved in a similar program in the Fredericton area and I found the employers in Moncton much more receptive to this particular type of job training program. It made my life somewhat easier in finding finding placement for all of you students. I'll just say that I finally have your laser copied resumes with me. I'll pass that to you after the ceremony, and that concludes the official ceremony here this evening. I guess we will now have your buffet, and I believe there's to be some entertainment later this evening. So that anything further, thank you all for coming this evening. I hope you enjoy yourselves as the night progresses.
Here, like you want to come to step?
Here, yeah.
Here. Color 9.
Okay, who's the shortest? Wanda, up in front of LP, please.
You gotta get by here now.
아우지 와라.
Okay, we have in front of you. Try free sit on the top.
Oh, John is not down here. All right. Free.
Okay, do left. We just have to go back. And Jennifer over here.
Hey, cross your legs.
Okay, Wanda, stand between LP and Paul. Yeah, good. Tina over a bit between Clayton. Cathy over just a little bit. Good.
All right. Now everybody smile. You guys meant to clear it.